Ebusia, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Mother good night. Mother so good afternoon, good evening. Ebusia for Bia to say. Miniaba sister Ajwa Odo in the house. Waba be Grace Sika educate page no. Na mpesa me de me necklace ne kyerɛ wo yie na ho ne yie sister Ajwa Odo hwe. See my necklace.
Beautiful. Love it.
Ay, me nyagro cry. Everything.
You know, you're very creative.
Everything African ink. Omo no omo asiesie me ho anwumre. Omo acha ma somade no mama me necklace.
Nyamincha.
Enti obi a wo hwehwe bibia no. Wo ka kire me ana my shout out to Everything African Ink. Roberta, thank you so much. God bless you guys. Enti ne sister Adwa, yensa kakra na afi. Yempe abusuafo ni nyina se me besua dance moves no. Me ba me de nwom ni besi so sa na me hwe na me nso me sua metimi aya. Na ma ye bi. Ai. Iti mami
Sika educate. Yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate. Yeah, cassava abum our real impunto. Sika educate. Or don't come up, run ya who are true. Sika educate. Unyane baby, Sika educate. It's like you page, you know I am vibe. But more than YouTube, subscribe it. Sika educate is the name. All our man source and they come from. Inspiration, motivation, modern education. For Canada, when it's here, or don't come or Ekusika Deva. For Canada, Bema Jai, or don't come or Ekusika Deva. Sika educate. Yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate. Yeah, cassava abum our real impunto. Sika educate. Or don't come up, run ya who are true. Sika educate.
Sister Ajwa Odo ni. Mesua moves ni nyina. Share. Enya gro kra o.
Funny and tearful,
Ay, nasi so who ye? What's up?
Yes, so I dominate in Shira, me who ye papa. I'm a dancing now, so
Onyame adumo sis. Say there, emi say 40 na to me. 31st December. 40 years. 31st December.
Awesome. You don't even your age. That's wonderful. I love it.
It's they say the magia to me soon, yeah, but they say my magia, my accept it. Set me at there 40 na to me.
I mean, maybe hit 40, the number need ya, Gino.
Sir,
the person is celebrating. And Papa say, hey, slow down. Like normally 50 na yo mo yan a big yinti no ma home run am see you mate.
Maybe the 30 meant to me and 35 meant to me and 40 so a COVID.
Oh, this crow bad by
Wahe ni pardon. Enti etiefo nyina me expect me birthday present 31st December me expect me present me gutu a me receive.
You can wait for New Year 31st
31st and Judosio 10:55 p.m.
Sure. You came before the New Year just over there fino. And yeah, which woman no papa.
Oh, see, she was in labor for 4 days. To me, yeah, they don't see me cut out. Say,
this is like a 20 boy. He chose to enter this world on Valentine's Day. I'm sister, Valentine is going to focus on him.
Yes, Pepe. It is when community we've talked about. Hey, sister. It's saying Sister Kuya Mandy. Oh, me no one commodio. Ye date ni ye nyam fixi ye. Ma che date ya my cake ni be yes.
I enjoy your program yesterday, Pa. I just love it. Of her speaking her truth every single time because
no cre.
You speak your truth.
No cre. Sister Kuya nso ye a live video be. No, it wasn't a live video. It's actually like an audio. Na Ghana flag ni si ho. And it was an audio. Minim say what it touched me so much. Minim say no de nani atete ho no or he. Minim say
oh he. Well, a lot of them. Sometimes it's hard to like keep up with it, but like
God bless you, darling.
Most of the time, I see her come on. I'm like, oh, because my friend a lot of paperwork into, like I'm not able to like go around and working from home,
Yes.
He taps on us. I say we'll send you a penny email. We the whole day, and I'm saying, like I am working. I don't have time for those extra stuff, but you got to do what you got to do to get paid, right? You got to pay your bills.
And this is didn't come up we talked about relationships and what goes into it, and communication as effective communication. You can forgiveness said 2 weeks ago because our forgiveness
3 weeks. And more than that.
Yeah. And if so you can't trust GDN so asem.
Yeah.
And you can't obuo ehwasem. But how important is respect? Our relationship. Say our mafem, say our memafem.
You're welcome, Miss Mandy. We are also honored, to have you be one of those women to like empower other women and other people. I'm sure you're touching like so many people's from youth all the way up. I mean, people who don't like the truth, they lack of so many things. So I don't focus on the noise. I always focus on what can I benefit from. Great job, marvelous job, and I have such great respect for you. You don't know, so just keep up the good work.
And I think the thing that draws her to me is number one, but more importantly, what kind of nukre? Why is a Marmite? Just like me, you either love me or you don't. You can't be mojo middle of the road. Porn star. We are there, me a porn star. What's the Sunday? A dinner magiatum. So
I'm question for and I mean to say, I have gotten to the point that I really don't care about what other people think of me because I'm not living for nobody. I'm living for myself, my happiness, my peace of mind, and the people that loves me. I focus on the positive, and there are so many people in our community society, they're so negative. When they see a sister or brother moving up, they want to do things to pull them down. And I just quite do not understand why that is, because it's like when I inflict pain on somebody, that's when I enjoy my life. I mean, people like that, it's sad. They don't know that their whole life is like sad, it's miserable. Like, why would you live a life in such manner? No wonder a lot of our people are not happy. Like, it is just too much. We tend to cry for people that we don't care for. When they die, all of a sudden we want to talk good about them, but when they're alive, we don't want to do that. We spend so much money on dead body than when the person is alive. How sick is that? That's
crazy.
It's just Miss Mandy don't just speak her truth. She speaks for those who cannot speak.
Okay.
But there are some people, they're fearful of opening their mouth and speaking. So, and she don't give focal. When you come at her now, she's coming right at you. I mean, for me, I'm choosing not to talk about certain things because then so many people will not like me. So for me, I don't want to be bothered with people's nonsense because I don't deal with nonsense. So I'll just stay in my corner with my love and other stuff. So
Sane, into sister, ebuo, ehun hia or relationship mo. Is it important to respect people or the other party, your husband, your partner, your boyfriend? Eye essential so bebu mo ho or relationship ni mo ana.
me that sister, sister, that's a panyamisha. So yeah, when you what them about or platforms so many times, countless time, and sometimes I'll be like, why she's bringing me up? But like I appreciate that, and yeah, the phone negative when you're
Do you want to know why? Because we are draw odo. Uwan kasa no we odo. Iti bibi e fa do ho bia no na aye do ho expert.
What the among family, I go wrap you guys rough when it comes to love. This to say relationship everyday life, there are a lot of trillions of coping skills that you hear we are bravo. Ebuo is one of them. Because it's a we nipa now what's one na wunni bua. They say nneɛma bebree wɔ hɔnom a ɛyɛ sɛ wotimi enya a ɛbɛhwere wɔ so na sɛ yɛmfa ne sɛ me to yi before krompa ama me ba wɔ platform so sɛ nka wɔanyɛ bu ama me ɛna menni bu ma wa, how can we coexist?
True.
Ɛbɛyɛ dɛ ne yɛtumi ayɛ ade asere yɛaka asɛm ne asere anaasɛ bi a woka asɛm na mente ase a yɛbɛtumi I find ways that you did resolve it. In everything, no, bibia yebeka ho asem bia no, ehu hia. Ebuo ehu hia we abrabom. Aye fie growing up, I mean to see a crow mu, you maybe one of my culture no, I am with it. But many of them they need to change. You say akura ebu ade, but penyin so you say penyin ebu ade.
No correct.
Ye empanyifo bebree mu nkola because akora e kan okra yes mo ano men kasa wani nhwa de enso na ade apanyimu ne ye na nye ne aka akora na hwe se wo pebu a e na wonya bu.
Okay.
When you in a relationship na every time I use a tree as an example, edua ansa ne benyin no wudua ne plant is a plant. Would see from to from na de si honum would see honum a na wo kata so na de nsuo gu so na enyamre enyi a obi akorakora timi to free honum so ba se woman emre na enyi na grow you root na hihye kwana ebenyi ansa na enya branches any leaves wo so. Is the same thing with relationship. There are pillars. And you have to pick and choose which one is your most important 5. You always have to have 5 in a hand. And with the 5, where are the extra ones that you kind of entwine into it? Because in relationship, you need to learn a lot of coping skills. So a lot of coping skills because it's a mema wubuo na menimu kasa right meye den etimi anya niema komape so enti se we oba anase bema na wumbu ohun kafo anase wummu hu na se nipa omowo around you na what's the point? Obi beka say oh na me omumi amesumi mu libi. That's too wrong makes it right. Obema awomu ne hokafo ba awomu ne hokafo because I don't want to go back and forth. Obema na so ba awomu ne hokafo. Eno chese wumu ho. Wunim no credit. Because wuntimi nka say yi ubu obi emreko a wumu ni pakro no. Because it's all that's obu obi na mu ni pakro na wedding draw. You're not truthful.
No.
So and say wumbu obi nso na most of the time no Se wo bie wano na wo kasa asɛm a wo ka no onwen ho.
Okay.
Umu obema na soba umu kafo a you tend to inflict pain.
Okay.
Because idea asɛm a wo bɛka ɛne nea wo bɛyɛ no you don't think about it.
That's true.
Mmarima a wɔmumbu wɔn yere anaasɛ wɔn ho kafoɔ mpena a wɔne ne wofo sɛ saa ɔbaa wei sɛ ni ɔbaa bi a metumi ɛne n'abɔ brada akyi bi. So they are most of the time they tend to emotionally, psychologically, and mentally abuse the person that they claim to love. Because every time Biano will try to tell you one thing, tear something out of you one by one, right? With name calling, right? If his name is not name calling, now what idea wish, how your hair looks, send your nante, wokasemu, so and then it kind of feed into controlling this person, like trying to control you how you should live your life. Nipa yesa wone kasa. Say metiwo numi Miss Mendy ye program na mi ko program na mi ko anka acha mi say oh mempe Miss Mendy asemunti no untimi nhwe. Now there will be a fight in this house. He can never tell me what to do and what not to do. But yeah, what couples will be at, that's what's happening in their house. TV crow baby no some so esan say be man no na ye bibia e wo fie ho no. Enna say obi obema anaso oba omu ne ho kafo no. It means to say they don't have any type of connection, emotional connection with you. You just there. We just say they don't see you as a person. The only time the only time who saw mo yire eyo ba wa ware ne ye time o pese won ne kompem. Sa time no who say oh me wo yire bi wo fie ha say. Eno no de obenya mre eyiye ne mma o. But when you would we are ubehuna continuously, you pick up from there. Sister Missy, Avomo, it is the thing. Ain't you notice that we are bema and also bana move. I mean, sometimes I ask myself and ask people, say, so we are bema and also bana move. Do you understand yourself? Because you to say when you're banning a dampem, when you bear man in a dampem, friendly panu edin, horrible names, right? At the end of the day, no, idea sani pana, one friend of horrible names, nasa akoda. And he said, Mefan se waka se, who can for a ujine, right? Now, what makes you? What are you?
Yeah, because who sleeps with the ujine?
Exactly. And sometimes obi wo ho no ma be ma bi anaso baby wo ho ka asam kire ne ho kafo a esan se ni nimdie ne nti ase e wo form ni nti no ne understanding ni intelligence no wo form no, but mostly I go with emotional intelligence because people who have understanding with the emotional intelligence ansa no be ka asam no wo dream ho ansa no waka. Into make sure say some of no or mechanic chile was sapacho. And memma ne ma omu honka no there be a ne omo pacho a chop paninsuno. It doesn't reach up here. So in free na kumemu and all day power chow. The only reason all power chow and they say will hear be a free wo and until no day power chow no.
That is o noon.
Enti just know say ebe sense biem. So but he said ye mema ni bi ni ye ma ni bi emu omo ho kafo ne say every time bia no esi ne wo pa chaw even though in free na kuma mu a ye ebi mo de chaw mo without the next step. The next step ne saying once your partner disrespect you now, don't just take an apology. There has to be a follow-up conversation. You have to sit and talk with your partner. How it made you feel. And that's not we are what we say a DNT. And a banner say, Brema and I saw bar me no worry. Ubie wa no ha. Ubie wa no way in you may be to honoma and send fata. Maya will boniviana. And I say, like, how can you love someone and disrespect the person? Upe obio, wodofo, wakutofe. Now, utimi bie wano ye no. Many bit me to your mano, I can't shred omo yirenum, any of my girlfriend say on my sibon. Right? Now, Obiana sibon, I dear chia, what's our better free? And yes, I will be dinkum, so in so many ways, say some of our men and women lack of emotional intelligence because as some more they're speaking out, they're not really thinking of the things they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's a copycat. Your pet. Even though you need to appear woman, it's a see at so be a carefree no, and I see who so be a and I hear you. Yes, yeah, and I dear way when you say, your mother broso. Yakra, your mother broso. It's a whole relationship, and that's how I real. And as a human being, you need to feel sorry for yourself because most people not no. They tend to trip a lot. They fall a lot. It's not say it's me sometimes it has become a habit. So I be a part of their character. And to be all crowd ni papa nyimu kasa ni rate me fini ho. Eno wo man no so a esanse na no ha na no nye du ni nti otimi ka asa eni yi na di. Disrespect. Ebu a nipa bi no yinti no otimi ekoye ye ni panyi without doing so. So ebu ehia pa ehu hia ewo ya brabo mu ankasa ya warie mu your relationship our everything when you for omuka say say akola wunwu ade a because we are see ayanam in sisters ka enye nipa nyina na nam we ase a eye honhom pa
That's true.
And to be a woman, dear, akola woman, oba woman, dear, bema woman, dear. Ubet me an antia bonting. America has said sorry, dear, that will be an because sometimes you're walking on the street with me competing with somebody. The only thing you can say is, I'm
sorry.
I apologize, right?
Yeah.
Your intention is not to bump into them. Yeah. Sometimes, make it 10. Your 10 can be too short or too long. So, and to say you don't do things intentionally, but Ghana, obi to me and walking to somebody, then say, oh, Brame Pato and Assassin Sampai. Where Jimmy Ohun? Wunim nyansa say ni say ebetimi abasa nipa na the only ne kasa no krempo wonye nipa right or ye hunhum bi they can curse you but it is almost as soon now wabra ya Yeah, hey,
Sir.
yeah, a lot.
But I'm on Kappa. Oh. Okay. And you keep talking. I'm gonna come out and then I'm gonna come back in again.
Okay.
Why?
I stop to say.
Okay, any kasa.
And you know to say, oh yeah, now for the would a question unia a ufie may for to say I may for no more money. I mean seriously. The blaming thing, the excuses, the reason. Here we go again. That's the three main thing that most Ghanaians, that's their certain condition, the problem with them. So I have someone to blame it on.
Yeah.
I have excuse that other people will be receptive to it.
Yes.
But to say your excuse is a reason, it gives you reason to continue to do with your foolishness. So, see a shinya kasa, senye ye nipa kasa. Onye ho ka fon ko a. Kasapa ene kasade. Because it's a wusua kasapa ne kasade a. Na wusua asutie, active listener. Naturally, no, it helps with the way that you carry yourself, how you respect other people. Obi wo hono ma wo yisikani, asikafo bebre enibuo ma ahiafo. Hiani no, sanye yede sekan twawa moja beba no, saa na wo nso beba. But esan se nipa bi enni sika, esan se ebusua de yefiri mu, ofiri mu, anase baby e wo ne to ye nti no, ye mu bebre enibuo ema poor people and middle class people, because he said ye mu bi enya sika bro. So some people have been born with silver spoon in their mouth. Onfane senka, onfane nenka, into onyanti se wonam kra na obi de ne ho beka na no ye no fon ye no basa basa akra kitikiti etimi ejina eye panyimu te sene te se ono kra just sometimes I na ahomte ebuo no se wubu ho a sister, naturally you will ubebu obia anybody, everybody. So I adwuma bi ana meye ansa na me adwuma meye sese nkola ni bebre nkola no to say most of them no disability no mo wo to say your friend is saying ebi mu ye
autism near there.
Autism, they are on the spectrum, right? Ebi mu wo ADHD, like so many other things. Ebi mu nso mu wo aggression, disorder, I mean to say nkola bi wo ho no ma me ni omu gina ho a utumi sa akola itu ne nsa wo bomi a baby amekwa akoto no kona bi so ahwe kora mpa be take 2 days and san ma sorry. But to say ye group need to be running for 2 hours. I can sit there and talk. And Kurana betna say eti. Se minya switch over with one of the staff now. Staff
and the staff misbehaving.
Yeah, there was 2 other staff almost soon Kurane kasa and Kurane tina hodin but omo makano. Yenya tosu mama na ba kunam ha na say it's like crazy. Until like ebimu busa me say like what do I do? Let me say I don't do nothing. They're struggling with a lot of things, emotional things, traumatic things. But many nipa, because I give them respect, they give me respect back. Because you have to respect the person. It don't matter how much money you have. It don't matter how much education you have. It don't matter, say, like your position. You have to respect yourself and respect other people, especially when you're in a relationship and in a marriage. How dare you, as a man? How dare you, as a woman? You open your mouth and disrespect me and then you expecting me to respect you because you the man of the house. As most Ghanaian men will use it, I'm the man of the house. You the man of the house. So what? Being the man of the house with no integrity, with no class, with no moral, makes you nothing in my eyes. I have no respect and the tolerance for people who have no respect for other people. You know, and then people who talks like, oh, because I'm me, I can do whatever I want. Who the hell are you? Check yourself. And the most women and men who have no respect for their partner. So who sure on my brabo, any decision making, any no kasa, what you say on my dream, eda when you toto, you can't a penny toto. So we are penny toto. Na wunni nyansa na wo sex buy anything. Yem mu bebree akola ka asema yem painti. And then kola they very smart, intelligent.
Oh yeah.
And kola ni bifa timi ka asem wo gina ho no ma. Na no akola bi ka asem bi. It took me 2 days for me to process it and came back and gave her response. And I told her, when she told me, I was like, I knew what she was talking about. But I told her, I was like, you know what? Your question is very powerful. And I do not want to give you a response that I feel may not satisfy your need. So give me 2 days. And she gave me 2 days. Best believe 2 days come. She came to me and she goes to me, did you get a chance to think of what I asked you? And I was like, yeah. So I sat her down, and it's classy. Me kind, me sending me or kind, and me classy. And what are some of the things that I was able to find out talking to other people to get their almost baby or my dream free back. And then me Katari was I know you have all this. You just asked me 2 days because you just wanted me to like just stress myself. And I'm saying, at your age, what are you stressing? So, and you know, like when you have respect now for yourself and other people now, for any woman, nipa bebre eba more. They tend to like want to be around you. They grow to love you because you are there.
No, correct.
Most of the time, it's so coffee na akura buadia and ya akura na no asem obeka. The action itself should say. So we kwa abonten parties na person couples are very, very happy with themselves. Check their body language. Now, person who couples are, there is a problem. They haven't figured out. Who will be what one you sorry I know a roll in the ice. Oba worry for would do now sorry. Why are you rolling your eyes? There is something. It was not resolved. It is all party. You like sometimes Miss notice and nam papa ninya penyom wo ekua na tete afibia ye party. If you are my your party na say ye bonyomo dia you see me on the dancing floor. But one if you are man ye dancing competition Macarena bar so and it's a cha-cha fly the nomniade almost sign young Korane la yes obe no ma yem penyfo ni nyina afi no de ma akra kitikiti power wom. And I know say it wasn't a fair judgment, but they just wanted the little ones to like, you know, which is
also feel a part of it, yeah.
But at the time, no, I wasn't that old until I didn't like the fact to say I can dance, and they always kick me out, and I'm like, that's not fair. Until once I get kicked out, no, I'll just go to my corner, my coach and I just observe people. Nipa omo to one no ma. like body language is the so and most of the time no, we are asking for respect, but respect cannot be asked for. It needs to be earned. If you want respect from your partner now, it's like, show me what you got, right? You give and take. Do not tell me you respect me. You have to act it based on how you talk to me, based on how you address me, based on how you see me in your eyes. The action, because action tend to speak louder than words, right? This is an expression we hear a lot. But majority of people in our society community, we have a tendency of asking people to do things for us that we cannot even measure up to it.
No, correct.
Deɛ wontimi nyɛ no, wobusa nhokafoɔ sɛ wɔnyɛ ma wo. Ɛnso wo no wontimi nyɛ. Wosi mi mu, but wo a wosi mi mu no, wo nso wo mu me. Enti no, menu mienu ho a na ɛkyerɛ no yɔnko adeɛ. And two wrongs does not make it right. So we your bana wukumua. Fanyansa kwa su suade. Sua kwan a obefa so abetimi ni wuku adi nkomo. Na wama wuku ahu se ensem a wo kan nyina over years or over weeks, months into years, this is the damage it has done to you. Because me no to say minimiku. In the beginning, we had so many arguments. Some of the arguments was like very ugly, but what triggered the argument was the most stupidest thing ever. In some phone, in some akasakasa neba, petty stuff. It didn't add to our life. And we both said some very horrible things to each other. At the time, I didn't care because I wanted to say things to hurt him. And he also did not care. So we both gave each other punches. Esa say, I'm feeling pain, so I'm going to make sure he's feeling my pain. And we going at it. That's what we do. And then when it comes to us trying to do a mediation,
yeah,
you hear him say, well, I said this to you because you said this to me. And I'm like, well, I said this to you because you said this to me. And then we start going back to, you said it first. I was like, no, you said this. That's why. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. Cut it out. Let's stop about the blaming game, right? The excuses and reasons. What seems to be the problem? A DNT and a wufuye. Obia came from different outbringing. Or no yet or military me me mama a nurse, me papa a teacher. That's different. My dad is strict. I didn't think my mom was that strict. Me papa travel and I made mommy take you over. I wanted my father back because his strictness was like just a piece of strictness was like, oh my gosh, where's my dad? So, and to say, like, it took us 2.5 to 3 years before we got it right. And we started listening to each other and really, really talking with one another, spending time with one another. When say Obama and also Oba muni hukafua. Time spending atonsium. Syria atonsium.
And so into our spending time ahead. We I say murebi.
Oh, sister. Enije atonsium. Suwahu. Kasa atonsium. All the good coping skills. Atonsium. Entino to say, Muni bibia mujina so because every time biano Moka say muhu so a na just I say buphobia show because yaw eda so hye wo mu. Enti da bia na ato atem didi. Na mutifie na say da bi obi frɛ obi din a na anije be na wo fie ho no. There is no happiness. Imagine nkla wo ho no ma what energy are they picking from the parents?
My sister Joa onim bibi some mami ti asem bi se wane ni kunu wo ho ye na sede bia se ba na ade a papa ne mpe ne se obekasa na mami no I express your opinion. He calls that say ebi abema say and you've given a response. You expressing yourself, giving an opinion. Bema ne terms that disrespect. No wa twe belt what the yere so or brim no or discipline no.
Huh?
Adrian was saying, I'm not joking. It's going on.
What's it?
Me see bema ne na yere ti fie. Makra bem kola miensa wo mu. And the guy, I don't know what is wrong with him, but he thinks to say, wakasa and says it can be. She shouldn't have an opinion. And even if she does, she's not allowed to express that opinion. Tibemana can say, the person yes say, and I'm person yes say, and obana explain actually so maybe I'm to me yes say, Nkolano say, just me kasana unso kasa. Wo when ya kwan e ma me a be ma me yo when na me tis ka ko ware wo we yire ne me wo kunu ne me ka asem a wo wanya kwan chese wo pese wo huri se me konso kwan na ye hwan wo fie ha wo twe belt bo ne yire me na me ka kire.
Okay.
O discipline ne yire.
First of all, ready, Mama Kuma. To say, Sister Siga, to tell you the honest truth, people like me, Bema saying minimum.
Oh no.
And we will not last for a year. And Obi Ohon was yo, nka what in one me adwa. Because me ma many me papa krempo no ma antwe me so belt. Abaya bu mi with the belt dey am farm me. And it say me papa krempo no me actually me papa wanti aba mo me. No ma me ya danko. Ana say mi nua bro. Na wo be wie na wo na akoko mu nyina agene. Wo nanti kura enye na se o pese da bia we na kwada ampa so dia no akoto adi nsemone. But to say, I mean, when we talk about dysfunctionalness, this is one of the case. So, minimum name man in yet, and I say how he was taught, and I say any traumatic event why experience it. I want a brabo. Now, sister, no, your housewife, and I.
Oh, yeah, Juma. She works. She has a job. It's not about money or finances. Or the guy just can't take. He thinks he is the final voice of authority. Into your casa obian can be. You're not allowed to express an opinion. You're the woman. I'm the guy. Me na mawario. We me ukunu. It's me can't is final. Don't say anything. You don't have an opinion. Obuna debia. Obano so te hon say. Yes, in marriage, for better for worse into.
Oh, okay. And then so to I mean, it's like Bema or Tessano. I mean, a mema or Motesano. You know more or bra in citri because it is say so you'll be our no. He wants to be an authority. My worry because Bema being head, has nothing to do with what I say is final. Because what you say is final is that you don't have a partner. Even when you are being asked not to abuse your children. You can discipline them, but as a husband and a husband cannot discipline their wife. A wife cannot discipline their husband. The only disciplinary is to hold them accountable for their wrongdoing. So when they do, so almost yard or yard dear, nenya, and some mutumi can want some now get to the root of it. But there has to be a coexisting and a duo. Send ya some wokan be mano, as some wokan what see ye every point of view. And no banning for some wokan. Won't so see from one point of view because our real companionship. Our real and slavery for you to tell me what I can do, what I cannot do. As my husband, you best believe if I'm not happy or you say something that I'm incapable of doing it now, you're going to know. Say, I cannot do this on my own. You need to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And what you say is not final. What you and your wife say are final by compromising, right? And understanding each other. Say, we and what is it? No, no, me you slave and I say you own me. You don't own me because Obama didn't see a moon Maya quarter. No, didn't see a Bema who be worry about chia our real who can say Obano. Ya knew a woman to one who need you send you need do ya be worry. No, I will phone up on a hooker. Omoka so mu de ne hooker in your mouth won't mean to me. So, and yet it's part of the custom and the respect for you not to just go so be back no winning under now that's it. Say was said it, but I know interest say you coming to control me to flog me. Man, police for that is abuse, emotionally, psychologically, and physical abuse. And she should not have to take that. I mean, I don't know why she's still with him, but I mean, that is the lowest of the low. That is demeaning. That's so disrespectful for him to tell his wife to say, what I say is fine or what you say is garbage. I don't have to listen to you. You don't talk back at me because I'm your husband. Being my husband should not have to be said. You have to act like an ass. I'm sorry to use that word.
No.
So be acted in such manner. Only na be managing of form. Or full soon in Yansa, but not dream of form. I say, oh, and that you don't know him. Not dream of form. Be may be a woman, not dream of form, or ba woman, not dream of form. Ni nim dieno, a kit to be.
It's not just a sis, as like we talked about earlier, just about an hour or so on the previous show. No,
yeah.
I want you to elaborate more on the fact that say relationship, but specifically marriage. You have to prepare yourself so spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally for relationship a long term, which we call a marriage.
That's right.
Papa. Like almost said, don't know. Madam for you don't know no. So you don't know no. Nkofo ni free say why shrepe no ahye white na veil tintin gu achie na bridal party nipa 50 normal sa enemre mu so yes bridal party dance ko YouTube egusu bebre nkofo free say no
they do it for sure.
And for who be free say no any aware no. People get into marriages and are so surprised to say hey it's aware no say mom net here. A lot of young people, minima dia say aye emrantia nin ketesia for Ghana 22, 20, 25. People are so much in a hurry for marriage. Sister, I'm not person will elaborate because now plays a role in ebua enim because at the end one prepare who na do tiakoshe. We do tiakoshe no say you're disappointed with how you expected the marriage to be. It's not like that until you start acting up by being disrespectful. What Junior was saying.
Since I'm that, on say, Bibia is see what our real and as a relationship, the foundation that you build. On say I say what it's akra. Na sa akra ne hye ase eye ennioma ensem fatana wantiana ebeka. After you na pese what sana is the most difficult work that you need to do. And sometimes a fact everyone so baby at the befe bi enye ye da. Wo be professional counseling. Bibi a wo be bia enye ye. Esan say one man no aye ache. Say aka ne ho. Oh, abeye ne norm. Ene ye mema ni bebre. Ye mema ni bebre empesifa. Deɛ wayɛ na aka ne ho no ɔfo sɛ wopɛ sɛ wo influence no ɔsesa you trying to change the identity. That's the problem, because ebi mu feel sɛ mesesa what change just say bibia everything that I am no I will no longer be. Let's stop and read sister Louise Bafo
Louise,
such situation does not just happen. Very true. There is possibly a fundamental problem that was not resolved and has progressed to a very horrible stage to the extent of abusing your wife with your belt. Marriage is friendship, most certainly, and you know that's the plain truth. I mean, to say, and some see relationship wa na say one ka ho asem a obi abe feel say like bema no and also ban be feel say to say wajimi, right? The oye wu nyina da so to ho nipa say no he can easily obenya side chick, right? Obenya mistresses, obetimi kra de oba na be fie ho a wo yire no wuntimi nka hwe because while limit you to the level na make kasa wo be can be. Say no, you don't have any authority, nothing whatsoever. And yamia you don't exist. Our empire unko osuru fie. Usum nyame said even on the last day on earth, nyame esaneba, you see, or yire ni okun da ho a, or either so okun ebe disappear. And that's all yire be disappear. One will go, the other one will stay. Edi enti ni eka ne sa because ebi a nipa na ane neti na kuma mu, right? Na kuma mu nti, but in the eyes of people no, oh papa we mami we yeah we yeah they say oh mami we dear meeting so and master papa we and to not behind closed door no dear warrior no and say emphata nti ni esi me mfa wa worry and also relationship compare with other people. Eye onwoma bi a hardware. Now going to your question, she said, Sister Mystica sent me earlier. Na only yes, sister about infidelity. No, say having a wedding. A lot of women want wedding, but they say power it. Correct. They say youth any marble main focus. They say maybe worry. Atade a meche to shock the world. Enuane a menua, the prize mates a ebedi mechi. So bema no how he will look and everything. Ebe wenum nyina kinkan. We tend to not think ahead of us because our years in the crown war. Na mo nsha aware ase kura kafia a mo de ato manim. Ebi mu kobo besia e na omo de abaye omo wedding na besia a wakobo yi obi o krompo adwuma a wo ye no you don't even know ebi krompo in a week time no you're going to get fired, not because it's when you adwuma ye but because the work omo for so opposition is no longer needed until they can either fire you or demote you, which means it's a sika will make a sobetic. Ye ahead of time. Ye worry we na say afe bills neba. Na you don't have enough money to pay up. na akoda no twe na mentwe na they say ye na ebebe and I would ha wo mua me wonya hwe say ni say and be ma na hwe oba just say insem bebre aware no ye mu bebre nti ase me ware fufuro no na menti aware ase. I didn't understand marriage. Na me feel so worry when be man partner to say like there is nothing to it. I saw my parents like me mama like on weduane or making sure say we have clothes on to wear, shoes. My dad makes sure say we have roof under our head and stuff like that. So they made it look pretty easy. I didn't know that the responsibility was so great. I was very overwhelmed. Within the next a year, I mean, the honeymoon went for a long time, but from a year going, I became very overwhelmed. So, and like I wanted out of the marriage. So me wanted out of the marriage, not because my husband didn't love me. I knew he loved me, but I was just unhappy because I just didn't want to be there. And I did everything I could possibly can to get my husband to put his hands on me to hit me because that was the only thing my dad had said. Say, oh no, Bema didn't second about that state. Our really is over. And means to dear, it told me fast me through. I wanted him.
Oh, wedding and no one out here.
I don't made it talk on a when I became unhappy, I mean, he was a loving person. I think he loved me too much, and na me family doing man yet. And to say I just felt suffocated, right? Like, why is he being so nice to me? Why is he being? Can he just leave me alone? And I said, after 1 year and a couple months, because we are worried in 2 months, and I me fire phone. And about send me way and not to say I'm kind of like stressed out. And to say I wanted out. And so I was pushing him to do something which was so unfair for him. He didn't know what I was doing, but that was very bad of me. But at the time, I didn't care. I wasn't happy within, and like when you have low self-esteem now, even when someone your partner no crumple everything for you now, you just don't see it. You feel say okay when and there is a problem, and then you create your own. I think say I created some of my own unhappiness because I didn't have a clear understanding of what marriage is about, as the two of you being one, and then the two of you being honest with each other, not holding any secret from one another. To say you better who can force who can forecast you don't read into it or assume or accuse. You ask them a question. So can be now one TSC a question, but can be now TSC. I turned that into an argument because I was looking for a reason to continue not to be happy. And there was a lot happening in it. Like it was just I felt so tired arguing. At time like I would lay down. I would just leave our marital bed. I will watch him fall asleep. Once he fall asleep now, I will get up from our bed and I will come and lay in the sofa in the living room. And there's one that I will lay in. It will be the two the 2-1, the 2-in-1. 3, and went bet me abeda menchen. It, you know, baby, I met that baby. Nobody can come near me, just to push him away from me. So, and it was like the most horrible feeling. I just that was what was happening. So, enti no te sɛ wo kwa awareɛ mu a sɛ wunya awareɛ mu ntiaseɛ na wunya ntiaseɛ sɛ nipa na amene ne ware no, what made me fall in love with the person? Why am I with this person? Sikasam anaasɛ agyapadeɛ anaasɛ edie bi a wodi me, because wuntimi mfa die ɛnnoa aduane, wuntimi mfa die ɛntɔ ataade ɛnhyɛ, wuntimi mfa die and say buska. I mean, it is like that itself is the extraordinary. That's the surplus, right? But to say we juma. Now we're making sure say you getting all the necessary finances and you doing investment for the future, right? When you retire now, you're not retiring on just still taking pay to paycheck from the government. So enti no nneɛma bi wɔ hɔnom a yɛmu bi wɔ hɔnom a ɛna aware a maware no ɛnyɛ based on lust, because a lot of married couples, you know, they got married based on lust. They did not like each other. They did not love each other. They didn't even know what the word love is about. They don't have understanding. So into what worry will be not to say chemistry like with at some point, you know, as we grow older now, and what are some of the coping skills? And I say, and what is going
to keep you together? Yeah.
Correct. So, and you know, to say, you tend to struggle.
Yes.
And then every time your complaint, your accusations, your blaming game, it becomes to the point it builds up to you being disrespectful. Naturally. You just saying it. It's not say that's how you feeling. You inflicting your pain on your partner, because you say I'm sure say wonya adamfo pa anasa na wofo enim sene ni subati a, they need to sit him down and have a really long, productive conversation with him.
Yes.
If you guys say wosua free na busua fie anasa ne papa ne maame ho, what he saw growing up, no, that's implementing into Nawari. So onim sade a woye no is going to ebedru baby. I mean, it is any pastor is a we sebi obi mfama no nsi bone wo yare a wo fo so oba no obehwe o se ne opese ohwe no, because oba no ebi krampa ne empire a wo bono no, so you will get sick for you not to hurt her no more. So enti ase ya ade bi a ehia so what TV bi ase a, you can naturally learn so many coping skills, especially ebuo. So oba be ma what wona wuni buo ma ho a, you will not respect anybody else.
Enti say ebuo nimu a senia woken, I picked a few points from what you were saying. Tama na wo describing the situation when you first got married near the end. And what you're saying is that respect and not perform a relationship anymore. It makes you emotionally disconnected from any partner on the wawari anymore. And do you think that also plays a role in because me tise mema bebre ka se me ne ho kra me dan nchen kra na me ho hia me pese ode ne ho kra bo muade. All I keep hearing is omuade ninti no wontimi mfa ne ho kra anya den enka chese me pese me hu no kra me pese me de ne ode ne nsakra be kame. So that means that ebuo also plays a role into that place of emotional connection. Na no ebenam so ama tonga sem kwa kwakusie. Yes sir.
No correct. Say my friend say, you see, I used to work obi fie. Na one ringing the doorbell. Once you ring the doorbell, no, can you take back the ring?
No.
It already went through. So no matter what you do, even if you decide to walk away from the door before the door open up, somebody in the house heard that you rang the bell. So asɛm a bɛka free one no because bi wɔ hɔnom a bɛrima bi wɔ hɔnom a yɛn mmaa no bi ano kasa etumi ma yɛ kunum ɛbɛɛma ewu by force because of asɛm a yɛkaeɛ ɛna bɛrima nso wano kasa etumi ma ɔbaa ate nka ɛte free hɔnom because sɛ wosɛ ne ho yɛ fi anaasɛ n'ase bɔn na obi a m'ase bɔn deɛ adɛnti na apɛ sɛ wo ba me hɔ. Enti no every time bia no romance ni hɔ, affection ni hɔ, intimacy ni hɔ no. I can't fall play with you because me feel say bia me ma wo kura de won fa come ase a the first thing that will come to me is say ordinance say ma se ahua. So as a woman, the self confidence no wa ma na te kofo. Enti no majority of the time no mmarima ni bi wɔ hɔnom a ɔmo ka sɛ ɔmpɛ sɛ ne ho koraa bɛka ne yere a ɛwɔ asɛm bi a ɔbaa no waka so because nneɛma bi wɔ hɔnom nsɛm bi wɔ hɔnom a yɛmu bi ka a ayɛ a yɛnhu no because ɛnyɛ ne yɛka kyerɛ yɛn efiri wo ho na efiri wo wa no na ɛkɔɔ the other person no you're not the recipient.
Mm-hmm.
Now I receive no ɔno na that person hurt the most. Waka asam na afiri wano aba no wobetumi apa akyɛw ba nipa no betumi de akyɛw but refie ni remfi every time ya na esi n'ani so but say enti no ɛyɛ adeɛ bi ɛha pa sɛ yɛ mmarima no bi ntimi enya buo ma ɔmo ho kafoɔ ɛna yɛ mmaa no bi ntimi nya ebuo ma ɔmo ho kafoɔ but say even though wɔn titiyɛ mu no ɛno na ehu ya what are you doing to change it? Because every behavior or every situation, every problem, there are like not one solution, trillions of solutions. When it comes to positivity now, you have more leeway to get yourself out of it than negativity because in the negative aspect, there's always the same way to resolve it, right? Most of the time, in the negative aspect, there's not much to work with because they choose positive, they choose negative versus positive because with positivity, you have to put in work, right? You have to work on yourself in order for you to get things right. But with negativity, you don't need to work at nothing. And a lot of people, you could for be bring pebre into your mom pebre no. Bibia is in a negative aspect. Nipa bebre muade no. Muade because ono ankasa na ode ne ho no omune ho. Obi wo ho no ma ne kasa o se hwe me de me hu ya meye me hu fi. Ofo so o ka asem bi na kye se o de ayayi a hype ne ho. Wo be ye hu fi na mu de ehe. Because it's a wuyiye nipa. Na wuyiye ni wie. Na ugu na nimu ase a at the end what have you accomplished? What chere wu suban? What chere wu suban a chere adasama? Enti mefa so akoye ohun fin wa abonten na se obi gina crowd nim na wonimu wu nipadua na wonimu won a wo feel say wokọ abonten baby obeka say sister we die wo hui no okoka before you know it ememe wo area hokra obi akra mpo wo benya aware agere wokọ outside of your community because you say obi onim wo hu fin awaye so enti no to say So will be yeah. There are so many ways to deal with that person. And adeɛ baako a woyɛ nipa a ɛhye the most. So be ayeyɛ na wanyɛ nipa no. No waka kyerɛ nipa ne sɛ nipa ne mpa awotɔ. I use that because me ne nkɔla bebree yɛ adwuma a na nkɔla ne mu adeɛ. Nkɔla ne bi kura tumi ka kyerɛ me sɛ go back to Africa and I'm still, you know what? I mean, at least I know where I'm from. I know I'm from Ghana, West Africa. Where are you from? The only place you're going to tell me is America. So, winning baby, me, I know my roots. And you know, I'm here for something that I chose. And you know, don't tell me, say, I should go back to Africa. And ya will pay. And a yemi pay. And then you na be can't hear yes me. So nti sometimes no bi wo ho ka asem a o de abufuo na eka. Abufuo enye woyɛ ɔbaa bɛrima na abufuo emma kra de abufuo wo yeso eno de kyese no kra de enye kra. Because ɔbaa abufuo wo so no majority of the time no, if you're not careful now, people will take advantage of you all the time because every time you're always going to have someone intervene and that will try to like calm you down. Some of our women have become sex objects. So what's the first thing they look for? Well, no. So when you are vulnerable now, that's what happened. Me I could do. After they when you hey, Sister Aisha pause and read. Relationships can be hard. They are even more difficult when you feel disrespected. Oh, sister. When you start a relationship with a foundation of love and respect, you and your partner can create a relationship that builds you both up to be stronger, happier, and more fulfilled. It all starts with respecting your partner, most definitely, and yourself. I mean, like, I love self-everything. We got things right. 2.5 to 3 years, we finally got it right. Once we started building our self-confidence, respecting ourselves, and the things that we say. Because it's your society, insult, your daily bread. But to say you have to recognize the more insult you throw at people, you just giving yourself away to people, your power away to people. Because some man no ya bebrebe no. Obi beka se wano ya oh sister we dey me mfa mano nkoto na no beka se he they say the obi esro me. No, you have given your power away. And no nso betimi rob you of your own blessing.
Yes.
Because it say bia ebu a wumu ade enti no ebi krempa a obi ani je ho a say nipa no omma emepe wo da.
Correct.
Esan say ebu a wuni ma wo ho ene wo ho kafo. Ebuo ya ade bi ehia papa oh ya worry mu in a relationship. My gosh. So would you, I mean, start with yourself. And talk to yourself the way you talk to your partner. And listen to yourself. Look at your face, your facial expression. You will scare yourself. Or baby, or ni queen yena on cafe. It sounds say when himself can be the way you look, you look so ugly outside. The pain you're feeling inside, I mean, I think people and they are miserable, sister. They are in pain. They don't know what to do with their emotions. Or quite juma, or and a juma we need be questionable for quite juma moon to or be or you're down on earth. On kasakra Usurade, but our befia and no honor by any matroness. Our honor. I mean, to say where there's no respect in relationship or marriage, I don't see how that's going to last. It's going to come to an end at some point because yes, say upon you na seta na waji war because at some point who have been abusing them emotionally, psychologically, and physically, they have their own problems because they are used to toxic, unhealthy relationship and marriages. I mean, disrespecting your partner,
Yeah.
I feel is unhealthy.
Yes.
I mean, you have some men, especially, but it's all by a culture now. And men might be brave. And ma omu kun bebree and I'm omu kun so because most of the time, a man no take it the first shot because of say omu person omu control or ban into so ban ye bibi abehu na wa can be na ahye oba na oba no nso can be ache no into most of the men are trigger omu no omu share problem nothing but say man bi no they are self starter ono a na kofa asem man ho so right. It's not said you need I don't know. See, it's very difficult for any relationship to grow if one partner does not respect the other person and or one partner trying to take control of the other partner. I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, I can't we didn't go to the extreme and I mean thank God that he was not never before when so banana because I think that inside being like that was it for me because I even pushed him to that break, but he always pulled back.
And she says, just before we go, because I know it's Sunday and we gotta prepare for Monday. But for you, having been through what you've been through with your marriage and seeing how important the building block or the coping skill of respect for each other has helped you to get to the point where you're at now, where it's written all over you that you guys are in love with each other all over again every day. And you talk so passionately about your husband and metie mu mmienu and all of that. It's just so beautiful to watch because me jitu mu say relationship, marriage as an institution no sɛnea nyankopɔn yɛ si ɔdɔ yɛn na ɔma ne dɔba bɛwu maa yɛn no. I just cannot accept that God was so wicked or is such a wicked person. Say, wɔpɛ sɛ yɛbɛtena awareɛ mu na ɛkɔyɛ kwansom bi anaasɛ biribi a wote mu a ɛyɛ ahokyerɛ, ɛyɛ sum, ɛyɛ awerɛhoɔ. Menkasa yɛ tɔtrɔtɔ sɛ bi a marriages don't have issues and it will be everyday honeymoon. It is not like that. Wo ne wo nua koraa moko. Tɛkyerɛma ne ɛse koraa, they fight inside the house.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that it helps. Without respect, there can't be love, obviously. But question I'm a person who answer me whilst we round up to go and they say, how does somebody who is already in that position a new relationship and they're asking themselves whether should I go on, should I come out of it, am I done? A DNA and a bit to me foster respect back into relationship. No send your bear or bit to me. Asam adore for na peja relationship na ko anymore because I think that the pair of us and will be anywhere or person or supporting our warrior. There's a place for that. That doesn't mean that by all means not in our warrior, but I think saying we want people to enjoy their marriages and remain in the marriage.
I know, right? On say most of the time, say be a relationship you have reached the pivot of your marriage, whereas the you have to give yourself some time. You can give yourself a week, 2 weeks, 1 month or so to kind of like strategize, right? And so we start here with the entire man and pair bear man. anaasɛ wo ɔbɛrima no wopɛ ɔbaa no, ɛdeɛn ne ma a wopɛ no. Because to say this type of disrespectful marriage or relationship, don't start out the conversation on a negative note. You have to start it on a positive note. So, and you know, to figure things out. You can practice that. How to confront a difficult situation. Think of your partner as someone you work with at work that you don't like. And you have to have a mediation with the person. How do you approach it? Right? And you know, to say, I said, you're going to face your enemy.
Yes.
How can I face my enemy in a respectful, safe way without provoking my enemy? So, you know, dream and neoma a ma wo pay no, and a neoma nso a wo ya eye wo fe. Nema wenije. And you know, you're going to talk to this person in a way na ono kra no or dream ho a be feel say na nipa asumesi wo you okay. So, yes, we are okay. But I say psychologically, you know, you tricking them to seeing their fault. So, and you know, most of the time, you know, I na ye asema, and na wo no asema wo ka kire me no ama mani anye there be. Wo ko honum asoba being abused or being disrespected, or as a bema being abused or being disrespected. Wofre wukun by the name, call him by his name. Ukan wodo, honey, whichever one. Ebia mi yusumi kun, okay. Ipacho mate me no wakasa kakra, unyamera. Oye bema bia, oye bema nimdie for beka se mate. Oye bema bia, opeto or shobi bia so beka se, wof edientia. Oh, and yen bonus so. I just say, and you may be na just a person me no etnas and ye fa hoadwen. Until say, Ebia, a quan womb na met me no wakasa or davoma, lady Miss Why? Ain't no, or yeah, wakasa, ube who obey your sweet mammy 2 minutes, and answer mammy 1 hour, if you might say 1 hour, ninety, okay, no me and some who made our span, I mean, sharp. Inti no kra no within 1 hour na obedwen say na de me yire nti sesa ne me yire kasa nya sa na kasa no ne hu nkro ne ba inti no mo betena sia the first thing is say as mpatcho asema me beken enye se entokwaso me pese me ne wo kasa wo kan bi so a wo betemase esan say I'm in pain. And my pain the pain that I'm in, enyoma bebree a esi bebree wɔ ya ware. Ɛna ware nso menim sɛ ware enye sɛ eye yaw. Esan sɛ medɔ. Ɛna menim sɛ wɔn nso dɔ no. Ba yɛ kasa mu ɛna menim sɛ yɛ ho ase a. Nti deɛ mepɛ sɛ me ne wo kan ni. For some time no, mehu sɛ enyoma bi wɔ hɔ nom a ewo fie ha sɛ meyɛ kora mpo na me wura hɔ. Enti me wura na ɛhɔ. Mepɛ sɛ mebusa sɛ bi a ma yɛ wo bi anaasɛ enyoma bi kɔ so ɛwɔ m'abrabɔ mu a me kun nim w'ani ni ho ana. Enti eni due mepɛ sɛ wo ka kyerɛ me ne meyɛ ayɛ ɛma wunya ebufuo na wutimi ɛde yeyɛ me ɔyere a wo ne me da mpa baako. Because it's a yes and kra na sɛ ye kɔmpa mu a na me wura akɔ. Me wura ko nso a mentimi mmua wo ɛwɔ mpa mu agodi.
Oh yes, sister Joe Dampa. Hey, tips in here.
Enti no So who can be so better say a dear some now woka. Oh, say me pese me hu ni tia e banesa because meaning say before we nyina so nobody is perfect. Enti die enya wo me ho no ka kire me na me amenya ho adwuma. I will work on it. Enti no wo be hu one man you have opened the door for him. Obeka we osimpacho twenyo ma me mfa pen ne paper na me ntworo ebi ana me reef bibi na wo ka na wo tworo na wo ka na wo tworo enti no wo tworo wie na wo ka wie a wo se o odo yewu asa enu ani wosiane na wako the first one hey sir we say no me pacho sanya me kan no ebi a me nti ase no enye me ye sad we say no me ya sen netie ube hu se no wo ka afi de ebi wo ho no mo ka oduru ba bia no agina o se o pa se menim nyansa na o so me ka sa je se me pese me tie ase ye from your point of view so and you know sometimes you know the list you have made as you go through it, or no one can say where his mistake is because in some maybe we want more, no one now what put you into paper, no, it doesn't even make sense to him to know. I said, who training answer, but when we say, hey, me say what is I say when Jimmy sir. So, and you know, once you go over it, they say, one man can Indian nyinaa before ansa na mbetu muto no so odo me da ase so unya mere maame ene me ka asem we de wode ama me nyinaa meye ho adwuma ba me nso me wo ade baako don't ask for more me wo ade baako a da makoma so a sesei no mete wa avrafo hye me mu me pese yi free me so na ade baako a mehwehwe afiri wo ho from who list ya dear mommy, say wo be mommy wo you take me as your wife. So when you meet no. Obebu sa answer na sa we ya married. Na say yeah, being your wife no, I'm your equal partner. Into ono ne list or dear mommy no, eye du ni nechi. Me list am dear man no, it's only one. Obedrin ho akwachire na obehu se ayembia wedi nsem so and you know like most of the time no we have to learn kasapa ne kasade will get people out of their situation, especially if you're being disrespected. Now don't disrespect the person back.
No. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yes. Shia kasade ne kasapa. Because o kasade ne o kasapa, effective communication, using your active listening, and using psychological games on your partner. You use your emotional intelligence. One man kwai akane wana kuma so nyina de akyerɛw. Ba wa kyerɛ ne nyansa na wa kyerɛ ne sɛ ne yiya wa yiya wo mmere tintin nyina no. Nyansa ekita o me mu odu esen onu ni nyansa ekita no. Na sɛ wa na anwen sɛ ensɛm a waka nyina wo so bɛyɛ ho adwuma. Ba wo de a wo busa ne yɛ ba akopɛ. We always have to do one thing at a time. Se wukun anasa wo yire ye wade a ashu said then cry find the heaviest one that weighs on you dear a man ni ye wo ya a hold your self-confidence back and use that one tool to resolve every problem because se wukun buwa it will resolve every little thing that he does to you. It will resolve everything that does to you. Me story be brave, me bata ho. Na that say,
na so me akwasia, na o se me kwasia na odi matem, na no so ye ko ha, na wo ye mi say, na firi hin kosi hin. Me mam so mo mpe na agi o. Mo mpe na agi. Mo mpe sa ade no kra.
I'm telling you, on say we don't carry things over. What happened yesterday is gone. We can't get it back. Move on. But always look for one thing. So when remember, no can say me brain call my sumo. Just give them one. Wait me at Trawa stories is there will can you person befi. So hit him with what you want him to do, straightforward. Don't go around it. It's to say no approach is wrong. Google Sianyoma, how can I have effective open communication with my partner? How can I get respect from my husband? How can I get respect from my wife? Read the coping skills they give you and use them one at a time. Practice with it day by day, consistently. Consistency is the key. You have to be consistent. If you're going to ask your husband, your wife to respect you now, you also have to give them the same thing. You have to mirror it. And that's what it is. Hey, sister, are you sure? You have to say.
See, when you fail to respect your partner, you prevent yourself from getting honest respect from them in return.
Mm-hmm.
Your failure creates an environment where your partner can't be their best. Just as important, you put yourself in that same environment where love is more like a disease and a burden to the both of you. And not twice, so say, when you truly love someone, you want the best for them. And if you want to give them your best, it stands to reason that you have to give them your utmost respect.
That's right.
How do you do that? You do that by the way you think about them, the way you express yourself, and the way you behave towards them.
Action speaks louder than words. I mean, like sometimes, like before, and I meet me catch me could say, oh yeah, but they say, you know what? Like most of the time, the best thing that I have gotten from you is you being able to be the best of me. So, because I say, like I see my husband, he's so different from me. His personality he's very quiet, reserved. I am like loud.
Chatterbox.
The fun one, right? My husband is the funniest person. When him say me worry no fiti ase, next time say bufu and na me nim say me kunkura mpo hu osre. Once I was able to finally understand him and really get him, no. Ebi wo ho no mo kan say mo nya nkan kwampo mie na ma sha ase esre. Or see one time obi busan say, "Hey, how can the way you are so funny, your wife must be happy." Satam ne ya worry nche or see asem o kan woni trimu say, you need me go to Franca. It's always important to be the best. Just learn to be the best out of your partner, because when you give your best now, you receive all the best you can get.
Okay.
Like now, no, I feel like I'm I have earned more out of my marriage than when I started, and it's been 10 years, and like as day goes by, no, I mean we've been together 16 years, we've been married 13 years, we like since we work on ourselves it's been 10 years, and I feel like every day we learning something new and we doing it together, as couples. When I make decision now, I go to him like some time ago, na me say me build this like I wanted to get some things for the house. And then I went to him, I was like, I need to get this. He was like, what? I was like, this, you got to say yes. And he was like, what do you mean I got to say yes? I have to see. I was like, please, you got to say yes. And he was like, what is wrong with you? But when he read through it, he was like, oh, I like this. I was like, ooh, thank you, Lord. You listen to me. And he was like, oh my gosh, you are so crazy. And I was like, that's why you love me. It's crazy with same. I am the crazy one. My husband is the same. So I was like, together we kind of like, but we are emotionally connected, right? We emotionally connected, and that's what most of us, we have to do. You have to learn to respect yourself first and foremost, because when you don't have respect for yourself, you're not gonna earn anybody respect. You can respect other people, but people will not respect you because you don't respect yourself.
Last word, Sister Adjoa. Nimse nkrofo bebree hia wo time nti beja wo, but what is your last word to people about this particular subject?
My last word to people and myself also, because I always take something with me each time I do program, through your comments and Sister Sika, your questions. I say, don't expect anything more or less from your husband or your wife. Everything you want your wife or your husband to do for you, you need to make sure that you're going to measure up to it and you're going to mirror that to it. Respect is something that yemu bebre emu yeho kafo, but yebu yasofonom any outside people, as in the people that we are closer to. Say yetimi hwe yasetena mu ye ni esua de yamfa nkyerɛ no sua, de de kyerɛ wo a emmoa wo no tokone na sua de foforo. The more you learn no, usua de a emfaso wo so. Nimdeɛ emma w'anim ngu ase, nimdeɛ emma wa ware ensɛe. Eno no emma wo opportunities, different pathway. Nobody is perfect. But eno nkyerɛ sɛ the one thing we should not fear failure. The one thing we should fear is regret. I should have, I could have, I would have. Eno no essay enoma bebree. And to stop regretting on your decision. When you make decisions now, what's nipa we na abɛware no? Enoma bebree wɔ ne ho enye. Sɛ nneɛma a ɛwɔ ne ho no sɛ nya a ɛkwan bɛɛ na abɛfa so abɛboa na ɔbɛyɛ ne ho adwuma. Nyanto boateɛ ma wo humre. Na emre a wode ma nipa no na so yɛ ɔbɛyɛ ho adwuma. Because ɛsɛ ohu sɛ enye bɛrima no nko a ɔbaa no nko a ɛna ama na basa. Bɛrima no te sɛ nea wɔteɛ because wo ne wama ne kwan na wayɛ saa. Emre bebree no wankasa ankyerɛ no. Wama na ehu sɛ this is not acceptable. Enti no wo nso agye atom. Ɛno nti na ama ne kɔ so sɛe. Enti no nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ esi yɛ ntɛm a ɛfo sɛ ɔwɔ na bɛrima no yɛ sei. No, ɔbaa no nso play yi part. Bɛrima no play yi part. Wo partner yɛ adeɛ na enya to ne na kutuka na nya ne ho abotre na nya ne kasapa ne kasade. Enti no, we just have to learn to respect each other's opinion, to listen to each other, to compromise, to support, and also effective communication. My gosh, there are so many coping skills around. Maybe send you a link. Yeah, sorry. Link in free me I have the link into my main sending mom. And to say most of the time, we just have to be mindful, say, and be there is a ripple effect. There is a cause and action. So idea see according to and say the best certified will be they won't mean and men yet. So they won't mean and do it me. I know I'm a hunka forty, but ye man, I am be my yabotre, ye man is mubi yabotre, and yen send beyond a yawa jay a juma. Marriage is work, relationship is work, so we have to respect one another. and people's opinion, our partner's opinion, not just take it as it is.
Thank you so much, my darling. Yeah, we don't want to keep you. You've got to go to church. You have to go do the work of God. And
we both got the X factor.
Bro, am I a post? Sure. X factor.
That's why. I'm in control. I'm in control. BBNTF.
Bye bye.
Bye. God bless you too. One love.
Sika educate, yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate, yeah, Cassava, Abum, our real name, Sika educate, or don't come up, run, yeah, who are true. Sika educate, Unyani, baby, Sika educate. It's like you page, you know, I am vibe. But more than YouTube, ho, subscribe it. Sika educate is the name. All our man them source and they come from inspiration, motivation, Wapomodem education. Wafranada, when it's here, or don't come or Ekusika deva. Wafranada, Bema, Jai, or don't come or Ekusika deva. Sika educate, yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate, yeah, Cassava, Abum, our real name, Sika educate, or don't